So you've set a goal. You want more customers to walk into your door. You want to sell more units. How are you going to know if you have done that? You have to measure it. It's surprising how few organizations measure what they're doing. What you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it. I use a simple Excel spreadsheet, and I list all of the tools that I'm using. And each one of these platforms has their own metrics. Some use followers, some use fans, some use clicks, some use subscribers. Look at the statistics that they're offering you, look at those metrics and write those down. Focus on what your goal is, because it might not be important to you, one of the metrics that they provide. And again, there are metric reports out there, pre-designed forms, but the goal that you have is different than somebody else's. So not every one of those metrics is going to be important. So building your own report is actually quite easy. Simply list the tools that you're using, look at the statistics that they offer, write down the information. Month over month, this report is going to change. It's going to ebb and flow and grow based on the information that you've gathered. I like to do this on a monthly basis. Most organizations have a monthly reconciliation or an inventory period. It's a great time to do that. You put it into your process list. It's a basic thing that you do. It's accountability. This is a task that this person that's managing it is going to do. Otherwise, you won't know if you're being successful. You won't be able to see your return on investment. And if you have a board, a committee, or investors, you can now show them numbers that make them happy. They like to see numbers. There is a great tool that is top-notch as far as receiving analytics, Google Analytics. It's a free tool. If you go to Google and just put in Google Analytics, it's one of the many free tools that they offer. What Google Analytics does is it provides you with a unique code. It's a digit number that you can embed in your website. You can give this number to your website designer. If you have any blog, if you have any customized page at all, this is something you can embed in there. What it does is it provides a tremendous amount of information, qualitative and quantitative information about where your visitors are coming from. Examples of what they provide you with. Visits to your website. Time spent on your website, how many pages somebody visits, what the bounce page is. The bounce page is when they get to a certain page and make a decision to leave. If everybody's leaving from the same page, there's a problem. You're looking at where they're coming from, what language they speak, what operating system they're using to access your site, what browser they're using. This is important to understand. If your website looks different in Chrome than it does in Safari, and most of the people that are accessing your site are coming from Safari, it better look top-notch in Safari. Hopefully it looks good in everything. There's a site I saw called WebShots. And WebShots, you can put in a URL, and it will provide you with the view from a variety of browsers. And trust me, there are so many browsers out there, it's not even funny. We have a few in the United States, but if you look globally, they give you something like 50 different web shots. Different countries have different browsers. So put in your website and you'll get a view that your website looks different in Internet Explorer than it does in Chrome, than it does in Safari, than it does in Firefox. Understanding how people are viewing your website and what it looks like is the difference between a great experience and a terrible one. So Google Analytics is your friend. Get that code, load it into your website, and learn a tremendous amount of information about how people are getting to you, including the keywords they're using to find you. What word did they put into a search engine to get to your website? That is going to influence how you write, how you post, and how you focus. If they get to you based on the word apple, and apple is it's a word that's important to you, make sure you mention the word apple again. And if you get enough traffic based on that one word, you know what? You should really focus on apple. I mean the fruit, not the technology. Evaluating your analytics is really, really important, and your customer inquiries will match that. Look at your efforts, look at what your customers are asking for, look at your analytics. You're going to see some patterns there. They're going to help you make decisions about what you're doing. Tracking your bottom line, tracking your revenue to your efforts is what's going to show you where your return on investment is, where your time is best spent. And please be patient. One of my favorite analogies is I like to use the gym or getting a six-pack. If I go to the gym today and I work out really, really hard, I'm totally going to have a six-pack tonight. It's ridiculous, right? Oh, no, a week. I'll have a six-pack in a week. Totally ripped. Maybe a month. It sounds ridiculous. Remember I said swap the words out? When somebody comes to me and says, why don't I have 1 million Facebook followers? Well, how long have you been using Facebook? 2 weeks! Go to the gym every single day. You will start to see results after about 6 months. Social media is not any different. Yes, you can buy followers. Yes, you can pay for fans. Quality over quantity is important. That first number that we see is not the most important metric to look at. But be patient. It does take time. And it is also nice to tell people, did you see my Twitter feed? I posted that on Twitter. I posted it on Facebook. Oh, really? I didn't know you had Facebook. Oh, yeah, I put all kinds of great information that might be really useful for you. If you have a phone, let's say you get a new phone line, new phone number. If you want people to call you, what do you have to do?
Tell them.
Nobody ever gets that right. You have to give out your phone number. It's that simple. If you have a Facebook page, you have to tell people it's there. They're not going to figure it out. Put it on your business card, put it on a bumper sticker, put it on a window decal, put it on your collateral, put it on a t-shirt, put it on your website, put it on your blog, put it on your Flickr page, put it anywhere that sits still, put it on your rack card. Let them know. It's the same as your business card. It's the same as your phone number. You need to keep giving it to them. And eventually, they'll go when they need it. But make sure they're aware it's there. One of my favorite ways to talk about it is if you're at an event or a function and having a conversation with somebody about your business and you're discussing those frequently asked questions that people ask you about your business. When they say something about, oh, well, that's really interesting. I'd like to know more about that. My answer is, oh, you know what? I posted a really good article on my Facebook page about 3-4 days ago. So you might want to scroll back on my Facebook page and it's there. I put a lot of good stuff like that up. Oh, it's driving traffic to my Facebook page. It's letting them know that it's there. It's also letting them know that I provide valuable information. I'm not just selling something. I'm providing you with information that's useful for you. Work it into casual conversation. If it's appropriate, nobody really likes, somebody to just drop information in there that makes no sense. But put it in there when you can. When it makes sense, let them know. I posted a great picture on my Twitter feed. Consistency and responsiveness. Again, I mentioned that the statistical highest level of engagement you get is if you post 0.5 times per day on Facebook or once every other day. I know a lawyer that won't post for 3 weeks and will post 12 posts in a row on Facebook. Consistency, and he's a bodybuilder too, which I think is funny. Going to the gym every day, consistency will get you to your goal. If you work out all day for 1 day, but don't go back to the gym for 4 weeks, what is that going to do for you?
Nothing.
So be consistent and be responsive. Though you post and somebody posts back, respond. In this community environment, you know you're being successful when you build a community, like a Facebook page or a Twitter account, and the people that you know talk amongst themselves. Specifically on Facebook, we see this very clearly. A Facebook page is doing it right and doing it well when the fans of the page are talking to themselves and the owner of the page doesn't even need to be there. I'm not saying you shouldn't be there. I'm saying you don't have to. You have become a community manager. A community manager is what many large organizations call that person that you hire to do social media. They're managing your community. They don't own the Facebook page. I heard a great quote. There is a blog, a tech blog called TechCrunch, and it's one of the resources for anybody in the tech industry to know what's new, what's upcoming, what's important. At one point, the writer, I'm not sure of his title at the time, he's not there anymore, Michael Arrington, he wrote something about the commenters on the blog. And one of the commenters said, "This isn't your blog. You just work here." That's ownership. That is successful community management. That is where everybody wants to be. It's very difficult to get there, but that's what successful social media looks like. So the consistency and responsiveness, it's your brand. So make sure that you're responding to them. Treat this like another phone. If they're calling you, respond. Call back. Do the customer service. Provide great quality. When it boils down to everything, it's just about you and your customers. So it doesn't matter what tool you choose to provide service with. If you're not providing service, you're not providing service. Provide service with every tool that you have available to you. It's that simple. The customer, that's what matters.